Alright everybody, we're going to do hopefully a somewhat quick tutorial on a little Python script modding package for CodeWalker for basically creating YMAPs. Using CodeWalker for just the creation of the map itself, and then using these scripts to come through and clean the maps up for you so you don't have to do it. It's quite the script. It works wonders from what I've used it for. I still don't know everything about the script, how to really get down to the nitty-gritty. Maybe the creator can help me move along with some of these tutorials, teach me a little bit more about it, but for now it's pretty solid. It does what it's intended to do. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So at this point, let's say you've already got a YMAP created. First things first, when you go to create these YMAPs, make your first initial YMAP in CodeWalker. So YMAP 1, you start a new project, you got your blank YMAP. Put everything that you possibly can on that one YMAP. And because what's going to happen is when you run the script, it's going to break these YMAPs down into clusters, and you don't want to be going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, and then just getting YMAP after YMAP after YMAP after YMAP. You don't want that. So put everything that you can on one YMAP for the purpose of this video. I did not do that. But put everything that you can on one YMAP. Okay, for the start of this, I suggest everybody get Notepad. Okay. I suggest everybody get these here. Notepad++. I really don't know what that was about. So go ahead and get Notepad++. For quick link access, and this is the reason why. First thing that you're going to want to do is to start by installing Miniconda. If you don't know what Miniconda is, I can show you what Miniconda is. Miniconda is a free minimal installer for Conda, so it's C language. It is a small bootstrap version of Anaconda that includes only Conda, Python, the packages they depend on, and a small number of other useful packages including pip, zlib, and a few others. Use the Conda install command to install 720 additional Conda packages from the Conda repository, etc., etc., etc. So go ahead, pick your version. And please do read this README. Please do. It's kind of important. Use all the default options when installing this program. That's important. And then next thing, download Larcia's scripting pack for modders. It can be found at this link. And this is what it's going to look like. And he does have instructions on his. And you can use this right here as well to get the code. But these were a little bit harder to understand than going through and doing it like I've got it set up, because it don't tell you how to structure everything, and believe me, it does matter. Okay, and when I say structure everything's got to be in certain places on the computer, or it turns into a mess and it gets really confusing. At least in my experience it has, and this just made it a lot easier. Okay, so once you have these installed, you need to extract it as follows so your results will not be accurate. This is what I was talking about. Using 7-zip or WinRAR, you need to extract the Grand Theft Auto 5 modding utilities main folder, which was this right here, to the following location: C users, your PC name, bam. So for mine would be C users Tim. There's my folder, Grand Theft Auto 5 modding utilities main. Change your PC name to whatever the admin user's folder name is on your computer. That's obviously a given, whatever your admin name is. At this stage, you should already have your YMAP, YType, and YDR files shown in this video. It's too complicated to explain in the text version. You extract them via open formats, then place the extracted files inside the corresponding locations. The YType files go to your users, modding folder, resources, YTYP. So that would be this: 5 modding, resources, YType, and models. So these two files go in here. You got all your models, and I've got quite a few in here already. These are all their meshes. And then you got all the YTYP files. And it'll tell you what you're missing. What I typically done is I got all the models that I could find, and I copied them in this folder already, so I didn't have to worry about them. The Y-type files are usually the only ones I have to go back for. Alright, create a folder on the desktop. Name it anything relevant. For example, Grand Theft Auto YMAP creations, like I've got right here. Create a subfolder within called YMAPs. Create a subfolder within YMAPs called Open Formats. By that, there's that folder. YMAPs. Don't worry about any of this other stuff. That's all me. YMAPs, Open Formats. Don't worry about generated. That's my YMAP already. I've already got it in the XML format, and I'll show you how to do that. So in OpenIV, after you've created your YMAP in CodeWalker, go into OpenIV. You could either do this in a dummy folder and delete it right away, or always have a backup folder for it. Here's mine that I created, my DLC folder. Of course, I've already got it in here. So you'd kind of be confused if I'd done this, but technically what you'd do is you'd get the YMAP file. So for example, this was the YMAP that you just created and you put in the dummy folder. You would export it to meta.xml, and then you would export it to that dummy folder. So Grand Theft Auto 5 YMAP creations, YMAPs. This is where you would export it to, up and underneath Open Formats in that folder we created here. Very important. You need that XML file for this to work. All right, so once you got that XML file, as here, XML document, you're good to go into Conda. So going into Conda. Conda, don't run it from the desktop. Don't search it down here. You got to go in the start menu or it won't work. Anaconda prompt, mini Conda, bam. And here, CD, C users, your PC name, Grand Theft Auto 5 modding utilities. That's going to change the base directory. So, whatever your PC name is again. So, mine is Tim. So, I'm going to copy this whole line. And I'm going to paste it up here in the terminal. And that's the result I'm going to get back. C users, Tim, Grand Theft Auto 5 modding utilities main. This is to create the Conda environment and install all the Conda packages that we need. So let's go ahead and copy these. I suggest that you kind of learn these codes and stuff. I mean, it doesn't hurt to learn them. Let that do its thing. It'll install the package. It'll create our Conda environment, which is the first line of code. It's going to install the SCI kit. Then it's going to install Transforms 3D. Then it's going to install NatSort. Then it's going to go down here and it's going to configure your Conda environment. Then it's going to go down here and activate it. Then it's going to install matplotlib. Once you see Python M MIP install matplotlib, press enter. Get that going. Then you'll get these packages. Okay, so that's complete. Then you want to take the Conda activate Grand Theft Auto 5 modding utilities code, grab that again, activate that environment again, because you just installed matplotlib, so you want to make sure that's loaded in the environment. After activating the environment, you can proceed to optimize YMAPs. These right here, if you want to learn more about what they are, there you go. The links are included. Okay, this right here. And matter of fact, let me take my code, which is, and update that, because I think that is out of date. I think I tried using it and it wasn't working. So let me do it like this. And again, your PC name would be here. So, you know, your PC name. And whatever your folders would be. So you gotta make sure those are accurate as well. I don't know what I did now. I won't save it, but use this one right here. I'll supply it as well. So you go ahead and copy that code, but make sure you change out your PC name and your directory. So wherever you got it saved, get that directory location and paste it right in between these exclamation points, quotes, I'm sorry. All right, so we got our code. We're going to put in our code. That's going to cluster everything. I'm going to go ahead and type yes. You won't get that because I've already got YMAPs in there. There it goes. It clustered it, so it broke down that big YMAP essentially. As you see, this was not a big build. And it broke it down into 12 clusters, so 12 maps. As you see there, I got no errors, and it's simply because I've got a lot of the textures and meshes and models already. What you will see pop up is going to be something along the lines of this. It's going to say archetype missing. You'll see it pop up through here. You'll see a bunch of long string, but it'll give you the model. So whatever model's missing, say it pops up with archetype missing, PLG, RD, props, wires, town, 01. You would copy that from the command prompt here, whatever model it gave you, and you would simply find that in your Grand Theft Auto 5 OpenIV search all. There's the YIDR. You'd extract that into open format, and you would extract the YTYPs into open format, and you would extract those into, and to extract it again, right click, export to open formats, export to meta.xml, export to meta.xml. These go in the Y type folder. So if you remember correctly, our folder here, this PC, C, users, Tim, 5 modding utilities, resources. That's where those files go. So you would essentially right click, export to meta.xml into the Y type folder, and then you would right click, export to open formats and the models. This would give you your mesh files and stuff. Alright, so when that's done, you would simply run that code again to make sure no more pop up, that you didn't miss any, that you've got all of them. So you would run it. Oops. I pressed enter too soon. Yes. Let it cluster again. There you go. Your results come back. Everything has cleared. Done, 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 done. Now you're good to go to put that in game. Open IV. And this takes care of all your static collision, all that stuff if necessary. I highly suggest also making you a DLC folder. Like I said, I've already made one, so it's essentially going to look like this. You know, you got VR Remastered. That's the actual mod on 5 mods and the Patreon now. Great creator. It's actually the guy that created this script pack. The one that's taken over VR Remastered. Not the original creator, but the one that's doing it now. VR Reimagined is the one I'm working on. It's not necessarily what these guys are working on. It's just a thing of my own that I'm doing myself. But anyway, here we go. DLC times 64 levels 5. You get these folders, and these are can be found in your folder that you created on the desktop. My maps, open formats. Then it gives you that generated folder. Bam. Then you get all these. Make the RPF files to match these, and then just copy them over. Bam, bam. You got your 12 clusters. Copy it to VR Reimagined. Bam, 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 bam. That's simple. Add it to your DLC list.xml inside of updates, update RPF, and load the game. This essentially makes it so it optimizes the maps in a better fashion, I guess you would say. And it does great at optimizing. I've had tons of objects and tons of trees and foliage just scattered everywhere. So yeah. And I've used this tool to create it. So let's load up in here real quick. Let's load up in game. Now, I didn't do a bunch just simply for tutorial purposes. If you really want to get down nitty gritty detail with these YMAPs, it takes a long time. Just for the little bit I've done, it took me probably a good 6-7 hours. And that's just for the little bit I've managed to get on here for this tutorial. What I'm looking to doing in the future is branching out and doing my own textures, stuff like that, editing time cycles, and actually making another mod to compete, not necessarily compete with Raised, because that'll just never happen, but to get in that scene with them guys, because that's pretty cool.
I am quite satisfied with my internet provider, thank you.
She's quite satisfied with her internet provider.
I really don't give a shit. Can you take me off the list?
Hey! We'll go ahead and turn that EMB off, because it's looking a little funny. I think I'm liking it better without the MB, honestly. I mean reshade, not the MB. There's something in reshade just killing the vibe. I'm not sure if y'all can tell. Yeah, that looks pretty good. I mean, there's something with reshade there killing the vibe. But okay, anyway, that's not what we're here for. So let's go up here to the spot that we edited in the YMAPs that this script took care of. And the good thing about this script is it takes care of all extents and flags, which is pretty sweet. Alright, so we're gonna roll up at nighttime. Yeah, it's gotta be something to do with, like, is that the EMB? Or is that reshade? I wonder what that is in reshade that's causing that. Hang on, guys. I think I might know. Ah, there we go. That easy. Anyway, we're gonna set it to nighttime, just because everybody likes the nighttime better. Why not? Could be a little darker, but that's alright. And this is what we've done. We've just added in this little bit through here. I forgot I needed to make that flag smaller. That flag is huge. So that's what it does. Now let's go back to daytime. As you see, everything shows up. Nothing flickering, nothing of that nature. That little bit of blur that you see, I'm wanting to say it's called the reshade. So let me just turn reshade. See, definitely my reshade. I'm not sure what's causing it to blur. But there you go, ladies and gentlemen. See, uses correct extents, so stuff that you'd originally be able to knock over, you can knock over. So for example here, these trash cans. Mailboxes. He's having a hard time hitting the mailboxes for whatever reason. But all extents and flags are done correctly with that script, so you don't hit something silly and get stuck. If it's knocked over in game, you can typically knock it over with using those scripts as well. It does the correct extents for you. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you enjoyed. Have fun modding these maps. Let's try to show these paid modders a little something, shall we? The ones who have us paying monthly to just, no updates, no nothing. Sound like a plan, guys? Because it sounds like a plan to me. Sounds like a plan to me. Alright, hope you guys enjoyed. Thanks for tuning in.